So where is the best seat on the airplane? Well, I'd say it's right at the very front in the cockpit on the left. Welcome to the Superpilotish channel. My name's Graham Wilson, and today I'll be talking to you about the best seat that you can get on your airplane in my basement. Actually, in my basement, not in some weird location. And so it's just got back from a little trip up north, and north to me, Ottawa. Oh, just adjusting the microphone again. There she is. Yeah, so had a big drive back yesterday, and anyways, I'm back here, and I was trying to think, what am I going to talk about for today? And I was thinking a bit more about, it's still kind of in the holiday season. The Thanksgiving's all over with in the States, but Christmas is coming up. And I was thinking about, well, it's really windy out there today. So I was going to talk about crosswind landings and gusty approaches, but that's kind of pretty pilotish. And well, it is the super pilot-ish channel, but yeah, I'm just going to I was thinking about the bumpiness and everything, but what would really appreciate? What would people appreciate that aren't pilots? And glad to see you too. I can see the comment there. So going to be talking today about where, if you're a passenger, you're going to be taking a flight maybe around Christmas. Where would the best place to sit in the airplane be? Now, this is just I was trying to rack my brain about it. Like, I'm not an airline pilot, never have been, but I know how airplanes fly, and I've been a passenger lots of times. So I'll put those together and try to get a nice little set of things for you to consider if you're going to be booking a flight somewhere. So I guess I could kind of break it down into two parts: the where you choose to sit, the safety aspect of it, and the comfort aspect of it. So coming up with safety, the number one thing you'd want to look for is being right by an emergency exit. So if there's any type of emergency, and you'll be the first guy out. So that's something to consider there. And there are ways of finding out. A lot of times, airlines will show the seating locations of the airplanes. Like there'll be some way to find that on online somewhere. And if you can find out like what seat you're going to be getting and what you can choose, now ideally the best seat's the cheapest one, but if you can pick and choose, this is one thing to consider. Try being by an emergency exit from a safety aspect. Another one would be that if you're sitting in the very back of the airplane, the back of the airplane is always the safest place in like if there's always a big huge accident, then the people that usually survive are the ones in the very back of the airplane. And that's also if there's like the black box that you've heard about, the flight data recorder, that's also located in the tail of the airplane. And so it's got to do with how can I'll get the KD12X out here to demonstrate. Yeah, so if there's okay, now you don't want this ever to be happening, but it's a consideration. Is that okay? Here we go. You're crashing. Oh no! And then so go like that. So if you're sitting at the back, okay, the people at the front, they're going to have a very rapid deceleration there, and that's not too healthy. But the people back here, they have all this time for it to crumple up, and all the energy gets dissipated through the wings and the fuselage, so that these people they actually kind of, as it goes down, well, I guess you could say they're slowing down from fast to stopped over a certain amount of distance, so it's less acceleration there. And so so that's something to consider. In the back, it's a little bit safer. Another thing there too is that if there is an accident, usually if the wings have fuel tanks in them, and if you have an accident, your plane will slow down, and if the wings crack, I guess I could put it here a little bit. We'll pretend the ground's up here, and if it goes into the ground, the wings crack, and the fuel is still traveling, fast. And then if there's a crack in the wing, the fuel will tend to go forward. So if you're up here in the front, and there's some kind of bouncy wing breaks, fuel goes forward. If there's a fire, it's more likely going to be near by the wings and to the front, not so much by the tail. So there's something there too. I mean, the chances of a plane actually crashing, I don't like saying crashing because I'm a pilot. You're supposed to say an accident, but or we have accidents and incidences. We don't have crashes. But yeah, so that's something to consider there. Another thing to consider is the comfort aspect of it. So in you want to sit in first class if ideally nice big seats, and you can kind of hang out there. And actually, I'm just kind of looking at this sweater's been on a hanger for a while. It's got kind of a bump. All self-conscious. Yeah. So the first class. Of course, it's going to be the most comfortable seats and big seats there. There's also a little bit less noise because the noise will be at where the engines are and back further. So yeah, first class, it's a very comfortable place to sit. And so another thing to consider for your comfort is if we're sitting at the back of the airplane here, there's it's a little bit less comfortable, we'll say, because I said, like, say you got some nacelles, some jets over here on the wings, and so back here you're going to hear a little bit more of the jet noise, and then you'll also find the ride won't be quite as comfortable because hey Travis, welcome to the show, and and I see your comment there too. So there's the rear of the airplane is airplanes they'll kind of rotate about the center of gravity kind of, and so the center of gravity on most airplanes is kind of right around where the wing is, somewhere around there where my fingers are holding it, and so it'll pitch up and down like that. I'll do this here. Okay, it'll pitch up and down like that. It will, if you're rolling like this, that doesn't really affect anyone because you're rolling at the same there. But the yaw is there's this thing that they call the normal axis, which is you can kind of imagine like a pencil sticking up here, and it rotates about the pencil. That's your yaw movement, and so if you're in the back of the airplane, you're going to be moving back and forth like that. And then, like, if you're flying along, you really won't feel it too much. Smaller airplanes without yaw dampers, when you're coming in for landing, and pilots are using the rudder pedals, you're going to get kind of side to side motion when you're coming in. And if it's a big airplane, even if it has a yaw damper, you're going to have just a little bit of kind of back and forth. And if you're at all susceptible to air sickness, it's that yawing back and forth that really makes you kind of queasy. So if you kind of don't want to be in the back, it's not going to be that comfortable if you're prone to air sickness. Ideally, you'd want to be right in the middle here. So even if it could be a really turbulent, gusty day, and the pilots are compensating for whatever wind is getting thrown at them. So the plane's going to be moving. I'm exaggerating here, but it could be moving around like this. Whoa. But if you're right in the middle, you're not moving that much. If you're at the front or the back, you're going to be moving all over, and it'll be less comfortable ride for you. So something to consider. Another thing is that window seat or aisle seat. I find myself, as a taller guy, I like to have I like the window seat because I'm a pilot. I like to look out and I enjoy the view, but it is less comfortable than if I had an aisle seat because you can kind of stretch your one leg out a little bit more, and you're not all cramped up in some place. But you're also getting the people walking by in the aisle. It's a personal preference, whatever you'd like. And another one there too is I kind of read about it online, and I never really thought about it. But if you're by the by the washroom, the bathroom, the lav as it's called, lavatory, If you're by the lav, there's everybody coming and going to the lav yeah, during the flight, and it's also if you're by the galley where they're serving up all the food and drinks and stuff like that. That would be there's a little bit more racket and somebody, oh, I ran out of orange, I ran out of tomato juice, I got to go back and get that from the galley, or so there's a lot more traffic by the galley, wherever that may be on your airplane, or the lav. So that's yeah, you want people going back and forth all the time? Does it bother you? That's something to consider. So I guess for me, ideally, I would like to go. I would probably choose, in a perfect world. Usually, you can kind of take whatever they give you, but uh, I would say if I had my perfect world, it would be somewhere in the middle of the airplane, close to an emergency exit, window seat for me because I like to look out the window, and yeah, and that's kind of the way I would pick it, and to each his own. So yeah, that's just something to consider. I don't know, maybe there's something there you never thought of before. If you're going to be traveling for the holidays, or for vacation next year, or spring break, March break, there we go. Something to consider. And all right, so Travis is asking a question here. Is first class typically located in the center of the airplane? No, first class is usually at the very front of the airplane. So, like I said before, it's kind of quieter up there, and yeah, it's. I guess you're probably, you're paying a little bit extra so you can get off the plane a little bit sooner, and yeah, well, that's yeah. Usually, the first class is typically in the front of the airplane. So, yeah, not too much here going on today. Not a whole lot in the chat, just a couple of people, and that's okay. And what else can I tell you? Yeah, that's about it. Nice to be home. It's nice to be, it's nice to take a little trip, but it's also nice to come home. So, anyways, without any further ado, just a short one today. I guess we're going to shut her down. So, anyways, that's that. So, thank you for watching. Okay. Oh, that's right. And see you on Friday. That's right. I always forget to do that. It's like, yeah, today's Wednesday, so I'll see you on Friday, Mona Moore. That's right, because I do this Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern. Like and subscribe, blah, 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 all that other YouTube stuff. So, yeah, thanks for watching, and thanks for reminding me, Mona Moore. Okay, bye.